Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tasty Talks. Tasty Talks and Crap Walks. How are you guys doing today? Come on in. Thumbs up the video if you are my friend. Ooh. Grab a coffee, grab a tea, and get ready to come and chit chat with me. Y'all, I am here today to do a Netflix movie review. I just got through watching a Netflix movie. So tonight was movie night for me. I don't watch movies that often, but when I do watch them, I say I want to do a review on them, and I'm always saying, I'm going to get to the review. I'm going to get to the review. I'm going to get to the review. So what I'm going to start doing is doing the movie reviews not long after I watched the movie. So that way I could go ahead and get the review out the way. So it is going on, I think, 1:52. It's going on 2 a.m. in the morning. Today is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. Happy 4th of July to everybody. How are you doing tonight? Y'all let me know in the chat if you have watched this movie. This is going to be a spoiler alert because this is a full review. I don't do like just half reviews. I'm going to tell you all about what the movie is like. It's going to be like you were there. It's going to be like you've seen it. And I'm going to let you know if I think you should see it. Now, seeing the visuals is going to be a whole lot different. So first off the bat, this movie is based on a true story. So let me just say that off the bat. It is based on a true story. I don't know if just 1 minute. Let me pull some information up. Mm, 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 mm. I don't know if hold on 1 minute. So this movie is based on a true story. I'm trying to figure out the year that it was done. Hold on 1 minute. It's actually, I think I went live on the phone that I actually needed. But this movie is based on a true story. This is a interracial couple back in 1958, I believe. And I believe the name of the couple is Mildred and Richard Loving. I am trying to find the information that I just had pulled up. I'm sorry, you guys. I am not situated right now. I was trying to find some information, so let me just go ahead and give my review of this movie. The actress and the actor in this movie, the starring roles in this movie, are not anybody that I recognize. But I love, see, one thing I like about movies, I don't like seeing the same people starring in movies all the time, like the famous people, the people that done made it and arrived, and they get the same parts all the time, like Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett, and a lot of other actresses and actors. They get the same parts all the time, and I really don't like that. I like a breath of fresh air. I like them to give new people, they say variety is the spice of life. I like for them to give new people an opportunity to act and to show off their skills. And this movie, even though these people may be known by you, because I don't get a chance to watch movies that often, they're not that known by me. And their performance was a breath of fresh air to me. I love this couple together. Both of them had superb acting. The cast was all the cast. I liked the whole movie. I really, really, really don't have anything to complain about in this movie. Spoiler alert, there was no one that got, usually with movies that had to do with racism and discrimination and segregation, usually it be having some death involved, but there was no death involved in this movie. I liked it. It wasn't profanity in the movie. It was just a good, clean family movie that your children can even watch. And the fact that it's based on a true story, I think that this is a movie that you should watch with your whole family. Whether you are interracial, whether you're black, whether you're white, I believe this is a movie for everybody to watch because we need to educate our children. We need to educate ourselves on things that have happened in the past. And, I didn't know anything about Mildred and Richard, and they set precedents with their true story, and they went all the way to the Supreme Court, which is amazing. So anyway, you guys, the movie starts out with um Richard and Mildred being in love, dating, and he worked on cars and raced cars, and they were dating. She got pregnant, and then not long after she got pregnant, they went to another county to get married because the county that they were in and the state that they were in did not allow interracial marriages. So they went and they got married in another county, believing that even if they got married in another county, that they could still live together as man and wife. So they did that. They got married and they lived together as man and wife, slept in the same bed in her parents' house. And so one night in the middle of the night, the police raided the house, broke into the bedroom where they lay together in bed, arrested Richard Loving, and arrested Mildred Loving, took them both to jail, put them in separate cells, and Richard was allowed to get a bond, and the person that bonded Richard out did not bond Mildred out. And so Mildred actually had to sit in jail over the weekend because I guess back in that day, they didn't have courts over the weekend. And she was pregnant, you guys. Her husband went to go bail her out of jail, and they would not allow him to bail her out of jail. And so he left. He was frustrated. He was angry. He was mad. He was like, my wife is pregnant, but they still wouldn't allow him to bail her out of jail. So he went back down there. like the next day, he went back down there to bail her out of jail. And they still refused to bail her, allow him to bail her out of jail. And they told him to come back Monday morning. And so on his way leaving, I guess the sheriff or whoever called him into his office, and he said, "You're trying to bail her out of jail again." And he was like, "Yeah." So it's the sheriff sound like he knew his daddy, or he was telling him a story, and he basically told him, "If you come back down here to bail her out of jail, I'm gonna arrest you again." And he said, send her family to bail her out of jail. So they wouldn't allow a white man to bail her out of jail. Her African American family had to come and bail her out of jail. So Monday morning, her dad went to go bail her out of jail, and they let her out of jail. And then after that, the husband and wife had to appear in court. So they had a lawyer, and the lawyer came to them and told them that he got them a good deal. Back in those days, it's what they call a good deal is if you get off with your life, that's a good deal. So he got them a good deal, and the good deal was that either they would plead guilty to going out of the county, getting married, coming back in, and cohabitating together as man and wife. Once they pled guilty, they would have to leave the state immediately for 25 years, and they could never return for 25 years. So the other choice was to go to jail, I think for 5 years. So, of course, they both pled guilty to going to another county, getting married, coming back, and cohabitating together as man and wife. They pled guilty. The judge dismissed their 25-year sentence. They were allowed to leave. Her family, her sister, was furious at him because they had fled another county and had to leave for 25 years. So that means she won't be able to see her family for 25 years unless they come and visit her. She won't be able to allow her children to grow up knowing their grandmother and grandfather and his mother, because they will not be allowed to stay there. It seemed like to me they should have allowed one of them to stay and one of them had to flee. But both of them had to flee. And if they ever caught them back there again, they would arrest them. So they moved to another state, I believe, and they were living with someone. He worked in construction. It looked like he was a bricklayer. So no matter what state he worked in, he no matter what state they moved to, he got work fairly easy, look like. So they moved to another state. She was like depressed. And he was like, "Is there anything that I can do to fix this?" And she was like, "I thought that your mother," because his mother delivered babies. And she was like, "I thought that your mother would be the one that delivered our baby." So he was like, "Okay, I'll do it." So he had to sneak her back into town so that his mother can deliver the baby. All of her family was there, and they had snitches in this town. I don't know who was doing the snitching, but Somebody snitched. So her mother delivered the baby. They had a little boy. His name was Sydney. And they're holding the baby. The whole family is enjoying the baby. And next thing you know, the police come up. He go outside and the police tell him to tell her to come out. He say she's not in the inside. And they like, you better tell that girl to come out, boy, or I'm gonna risk everybody in the house. I think she heard them and she handed the baby to her sister, and she went out there and they arrested them again. And the judge was getting ready to sentence them, and then their lawyer came in and he was like, beg your pardon, your honor. I misinformed them and told them that they could come back and have their baby. And so mysteriously, miraculously, they did not go to jail. And the lawyer told them, let's be clear, dear. Don't you ever bring your butt back here no more. No more, no more, no more, no more, no more. So they got their baby. They left. They went back to the state that they were living in. I think they were living in Washington. And next thing you know, they show her pregnant again. And then next thing you know, they show her pregnant again. So she had 3 children. She had 2 boys and 1 girl. The girl, I believe, was the last child that they had. And the husband worked. They lived in this house. And but there was no, like, where they lived at, there was no grass, there was no yard. It wasn't a way that she grew up and a way that he grew up, and she really didn't want to raise her kids in a city like that. And so one day her boys were running around outside and one of them got hit by a car. And when her husband came home from work that night, all the lights was off in the house, and baby, she had all them suitcases packed. She was like, I don't care what's going on. I'm going back to the country. I'm not raising my children in the city. In the meantime, earlier on in the movie, the lady that she was boarding with, she was watching Martin Luther King and everybody marching, and on the, it wasn't the Million Man March, but it was over 100,000 people there. And her lady that was boarding her or putting her up told her, you need to write Teddy or somebody and get you some justice. So she wrote a letter and asking for help, telling them about their situation. And whoever she wrote couldn't help her, but they referred her to another government agency that will give them assistance for free to try to fight their case. Her husband was very iffy. If iffy, he wasn't very willing, a very willing participant in this. But and she was so soft spoken, you guys. One thing I like about the characters in this movie, they were both soft spoken. They were just little regular country people that fell in love, that wanted to live their life. And it was sad that people tell you who you can love, who you can't love, who you can have children with, who you cannot have children with. So the lawyer that they met with suggests that they go back to the town that they came from and get arrested again. And the husband was like, nope, we not doing that. But after the son got hit by a car, she said she was going back home and she don't care what happens to her. So they went back to their hometown, and one of the relatives said that they had a relative that had a house out in the country for rent. And so they moved out in the country no neighbors. It was like a farm, big old house. And when she got there, you guys, and she was standing outside, you could just tell that she was so happy. She was back to the country. Her children can grow up and have a place to run around and play and climb trees and just be free. But they were in hiding, they were in seclusion. I don't even know if their children went to school because they didn't show that. I don't know if she homeschooled her kids or if they went to school because she didn't show that. They didn't show that. So, anyway, in the meantime and in the between time, when she got settled into her house, she wrote the lawyer because she hadn't heard from him in a long time. And he was baffled. He didn't really know what to do with the case. You know how lawyers, they just graduate. They have never fought a case like this before. They're very inexperienced and wet behind the ears, so they don't even know how to proceed. So he went to another lawyer friend and asked for advice. Just so happened it was this other man that was there that was a lawyer who fought civil rights. And so he gave him advice. He told him what to do, and they proceeded. But they had to go to every court to try to get an appeal. So they had to go back to the judge who first ruled in the case and try to get an appeal, which he denied. Then they had to go to another court after that to try to get an appeal. They denied. Then they went to another court after that, and they denied. But every court was denying them. In the meantime and in the between time, the press also gets wind of their story, published their story in the news. I think their story was published in Time magazine, and they're getting all this traction because their story is going public. And then, but they done lost every court that they went to. They lost the appeal. And so the camera people was asking, like, what are you going to do? Or how do you feel about losing all these cases? What are you going to do if you lose? And the wife was like, I consider it to be a victory because we're losing. Like we the victory is leading them to the Supreme Court. The losses are leading them to the Supreme Court where they will possibly have a victory. And that victory is not just going to change their lives, but it's going to set precedents for other people that walk behind them. And the husband was tired of the cameras. He was tired of the interviews. He was tired of going to courts and losing. But they finally got to have their appeal heard at the Supreme Court. And the husband didn't want to, because they could have appeared before the Supreme Court so they could put a face to the story. But the husband and wife asked, what would be Virginia's defense? What is their defense in saying that they should not be allowed to be married or to live together as a married couple? And Virginia's defense was that interracial marriages should not be allowed to produce children, that their children are considered bastards. And that was their defense. And so the case went to the Supreme Court, you guys, and the Supreme Court ruled that marriage is something that everybody have the right to, and you should not impose on people that they cannot be married and their marriage cannot be considered legitimate, and they cannot live together as husband and wife based on race. So Mildred and Richard Loving won their case before the Supreme Court and changed the precedent for a lot of people that went behind them so that they can live together and love together. And one thing that The lawyer asked Richard, since they were not going to appear before the court, he asked them, is there anything you want me to tell them on your behalf? And he said, tell them I love my wife. And even after they won, it was like they weren't. I wanted to see emotions. I wanted to see shouting and hollering and screaming. They were not that emotional, you guys. And hey, Miss Janiqua, the name of the name of the movie is Loving, and it's on Netflix. It's right there on the screen under Netflix. The name of the movie is Loving. Have you seen it? But I give the movie 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the cast, even though to me there's some unknowns. They may not be unknowns to you guys. They may be actresses and actors that you have seen before, but they were new to me. I never seen them before, but I really, really, really loved their acting ability and their skills, and I really loved the movie. It was not. I'm trying to think. There wasn't any violence in the movie. I don't think there was any profanity in the movie. It was a good family movie that you could watch with your kids, that I believe that you need to watch with your kids and explain to them some things in it while you're watching it with them. Don't just let them watch the movie, or have a conversation about the movie after you watch it with them. Explain to them, you know, that love is colorblind, and that you should be able to love who you want to love regardless of the color of their skin. So it was a really, really, really good movie, you guys. I am going to put the link in the description box below and recommend that you watch it if you have Netflix. And after you watch the movie, come back and leave a comment on this video and let me know how you enjoyed the movie. If you have Netflix, you can go watch the movie tonight, tomorrow, but it's a good movie. If y'all have any other movies that you want to recommend me to watch and you want me to do a review on, please leave them in the comments bar below as well, so I can do a review of the movie. And if you're in any of my lives while the live is taking place, after the live is over with, come back and leave a comment on the video and just let me know how you enjoyed the live. Miss Danica said, okay, okay, got it. I am going to watch it. It was a really good movie, Miss Janika. I usually cry on good movies, but it was a good movie, but it wasn't so dramatic. And they didn't, even though it had racism in the movie, they didn't depict the racism in a way where it infuriated you, angered you, or made you mad, or made you get so emotional because of what was happening. I think I had one teary scene, and that was when she was arrested and they made her stay in jail over the weekend, and she was just like cuddled up in her corner, and she was scared. And then when they released her from jail, and she just hugged her daddy, baby. She hugged her daddy like she had never. She hugged her daddy like she had never seen him before. And even when they snuck back into that state, they had to walk on pin shells, eggshells. They had to walk on eggshells, because if anybody seen them, if anybody turned them in to the police, they would be arrested on the spot just for being married and living together as a couple. And that was so sad, you guys. Our world and our nation has come a long way. And even though we have a longer way to go. We've come a long way, and we need to recognize the growth that we have done as a country and a culture, and we need to try to contribute in some shape, form, or fashion to continue that growth and not let the growth that we made be in vain. So that was my movie review, you guys. And the name of the movie again is Loving. I highly recommend this movie. Uh, I like a good movie. This was a good movie. I would actually watch this movie again because sometimes when you watching something, you miss something the first time. Sometimes it's good to watch a movie once or twice, more than once, twice or three times. So I think I am going to watch this movie again because it was really, really, really good. And I recommend that you watch it too. So, anyway, you guys, that is my movie review of the movie Loving. Let me know in the comments bar below. I know it's going on. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, going on 3 a.m. It's 2:22. I know I came very late, didn't have that much of an audience watching, the live with me right now. But it's okay. Y'all already know. It doesn't matter how many people are in my live. It don't matter if anybody is watching me at all. I know that somebody's going to come back and watch the replay. So, again, let me know if you guys have any other movies that you want me to review on Netflix, and leave the name in the comments bar below. If you haven't watched this movie, go watch it. Come back after you watch it, leave a comment and let me know what you thought about it. If you've watched the movie already, leave in the comments bar below what was some of the highlights of the movie and whether or not you enjoyed the movie or not. So that's going to be it for me, you guys. Thank you, Miss Janiqua, for coming in. I appreciate you so very much. And you guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, hit always, and make sure you come back for another video. Tasty Talks, Tasty Talks, and Crap Walks. And if you are not subscribed to my other channel, Vanessa's Van Life Journey, please go subscribe to my other channel, Vanessa's Van Life Journey. I am Vanessa. I live in a van full time. And I would appreciate if you guys can subscribe to that channel and help me get to 5,000 subscribers. So, y'all have a good night, Miss Janiqua. I love you and appreciate you. And thank you for coming in and letting me know that you were here tonight. And y'all have a good night. Happy Tuesday. Happy New Year. And I will see you guys later.